Hi, welcome to Baking the Law. Today we're going to make something for St. Patrick's Day. This is a chocolate loaf cake with a surprise inside of a rainbow shamrock. So we'll see how it turns out. It should be really fun. Start with 3/4 cups plus 3 tablespoons of egg white. And that's probably around 6 or 7 eggs, depending on the size of your egg. Beat them until the stiff peaks form, which might take 2 or 3 minutes. So now we're going to refrigerate the egg whites for now. And we're gonna take a cup of butter, salted butter. So you wanna cream it until it kind of turns white. And then we're gonna add 1.5 cups of sugar, and we're gonna beat that for another couple minutes. 3 cups of cake flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna combine that. And we're gonna take a cup of milk and a teaspoon of clear vanilla. We're gonna gradually add the flour mixture and the milk mixture into the batter. Now we're gonna fold in the egg whites. So I'm using purple and blue and green and yellow and orange and red. And then we're gonna put it into a piping bag with a tip about that size. When you're piping this cake, you want the 6 colors to fit within this line. We're gonna put it in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. After it's baked, you'll let it cool completely and then put it in the freezer till it gets cold because it'll be easier to work with. Stick them back in the freezer and then we're gonna make the chocolate cake. First of all, grease a loaf pan and then put paper in it. And you'll want your oven at 325. We're gonna mix a cup of flour and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We'll set that aside. So take 2 ounces of good quality chocolate, put it in a heat-proof bowl, and then you want 1/3 cup of boiling water. Pour it on top of the chocolate. Let it sit for a minute to melt. Stir that when it's melted completely. Then we're gonna add 3/4 cup of powdered cocoa, unsweetened. Now we're gonna cream together a cup of butter and 1.25 cups of white sugar. So once it's all nice and fluffy, we're gonna add the chocolate mixture. Add 5 eggs, room temperature eggs. Now we're gonna add the flour mixture in. Chocolate batter is ready. You're gonna put just a tiny bit on the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna make kind of a long tube of them. Put it in the 325 oven for about an hour. Once your cake is done, want it to cool completely, and then you can put ganache on it. You take 4.5 ounces of chocolate and you put it in a heat-proof bowl. Then you heat 1/2 cup of cream till it's not boiling but hot. Pour it on top and let it just sit until they melt. Stir it up. And then if you'd like, you could add 2.5 teaspoons of Bailey's, or you can leave it out if you have kids that are eating it. And when you first mix it, it's kind of runny, but then it'll set up and become spreadable. Iced it with the ganache and of course some sprinkles. And now we're gonna see if it did what it was supposed to do. Ah! Yay! See how it tastes. Very delicious. Well, thank you for joining me for Baking the Law, and I sure look forward to seeing you next month.